So Bronny James gets drafted number 55 overall to the Los Angeles Lakers. Not a surprise. Everybody knew this was going to happen. And Bronny's going to play with his dad, LeBron, in LA. There's been a big debate about this, and some people say that he deserves to be drafted. I don't know how they could possibly logically make that argument, but they have said that. Others say he doesn't deserve it whatsoever. I'll just say this. When Woj was talking on ESPN and at the draft last night, he said, nepotism runs rampant in the NBA and the front office and the coaching staff and all around the NBA. I've seen it for years. And Stephen A. Smith echoed that. They then both proceeded to say, along with everybody else on that ESPN set, that Bronny James deserved to be drafted on merit. Okay, so you cannot have both. You cannot rectify both of those things. They are contradictory. If you're making the argument that, well, nepotism exists all around the league, so why are you, that's not a valid argument. Fine, that's fair. Okay, but then you cannot then go say, but by the way, he also deserves to be drafted, because he does not, right? That's the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is he is a 6'1" guard, barely. 6'1" guard, 215 pounds. He played at a school that was at the bottom of the Pac-12, a conference that was the worst Power 5 conference last year in the country. A conference that sent only 3 teams to the NCAA tournament. And he played for a team who was at the bottom of that conference, and he came off the bench. He averaged 4 points per game. He shot 35% from the field, 27% from 3. He was not good at a bad school, or a bad team, rather. He wasn't good. If his name was not Bronny James, if you took the name off the back of his jersey, that kid in today's college basketball would be transferring to a lesser school to try to get more minutes. That would be where he would be. And that's not debatable. It's just the truth. Find me another college player that has played at a school that has been terrible and averaged 4 points a game and is a 6'1" guard who got drafted that year as a freshman, who is not related to an NBA player. You will not find one, because they don't exist. Because the truth is, for the most part, with the maybe one exception, nepotism has not crept into who gets drafted in the NBA or the NFL, for that matter, right? Now, I don't disagree with what some of the guys on ESPN were saying, in the sense that, well, you have nepotism at the level, at the coaching level and at the front office level. I agree. But that doesn't mean you can just dismiss the other one. That's wrong at all levels. That bothers me at all levels. You shouldn't have nepotism at levels. It should be based on merit. That's what America has been founded on and been about. Hiring people who are unqualified for their jobs because they know you are related to you, that's nepotism. Well, that's what's going on here. All right? And I can accept that, right? Like, whether I like it or not in the front office, whether I like it or not in coaching, whether I like it or not in the NBA, whether it's fair or not is all irrelevant. It exists, right? So Bronny James getting drafted, not the end of the world. Okay, is there a player who would have gotten drafted who didn't get to experience that because Bronny James is in this draft? Yes, there is. Absolutely. Okay, that's the truth. It sucks. It's not the end of the world. The guy can still get signed, right? Whoever that would have been. My problem with the whole thing is the lack of transparency, specifically on the part of ESPN. There were 6 different people on the broadcast for the second round. They had 2 draft experts. I think one was a former GM. And then they had 4 guys, or a woman and 3 men, right? Malika Andrews, along with Stephen A. Smith, Woj, and Bob Myers. All 6 of them sat up there and for an hour over and over and over again hammered home the point that they believed that this kid deserved to be drafted. I would love for someone to ask Bob Myers, would you draft Bronny James if you were in this spot? Like if you were the Warriors GM and you didn't have LeBron on the team and you weren't getting him, would you draft Bronny James right here? And the answer he would give, if he was being honest, is no. He would not. At 55, he would not. At 60 or at 58, the last pick, he would not. Because he's not even a top 100 player. That's my problem with it. My problem is that so many people have gone on ESPN and they're all afraid of saying something negative like this about LeBron James and having the repercussions. I just call it what it is. Look, Bronny James, he's not a bad basketball player. He didn't have a great year. He's not an NBA player. He doesn't deserve to be drafted, but that's what we're seeing. That's what's going to happen here tonight. He's going to get drafted, and that's what it is. And we don't need to, harp on it or anything. But no, they want to draw it out, and they know by saying these things they're going to create controversy. But it's wild because it's more than just them. It's the whole network. I saw a writer on ESPN grading people based on his draft projections. I don't even know who he is. And he basically said he had Bronny James rated above where they drafted him. It was a valuable pick. It was like you look all across ESPN and they just refuse to admit what's going on here. It's like, does LeBron run or own part of ESPN? I don't know. It was odd. Bronny Jones, I saw on Twitter last night, he was awesome. He actually came out and said, this is appalling that more people in my profession are not doing their job and coming out and saying the truth. And the truth is, he's not an NBA player. That's all I got for this breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you agree in the comments below. Did Bronny James deserve to be drafted? Is he an NBA player? Subscribe to this channel if you like this content. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.